Morning, y'all, and happy Tuesday. It's Mr. Gilbert with Mr. Gilbert's Writing from Distance Learning. Okay, so let me move my face here. Let me put it up here. There we go. And today we are continuing our writing assignment for the week, answering the prompt: How do animals survive in the Arctic's cold winters? Excuse me, after yawn. Sorry, it's bright and early, and the kids have been up since 5 a.m. sharp. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. As always with writing, yours should not look exactly like Mr. Gilbert's. It should be pretty different, especially with this piece here. There are lots and lots of different ways that you could go about answering the question: How do animals survive in the Arctic cold winter? Now, like always, we're going to start with the topic sentence. So let's go ahead and let's just review what we're writing about. Go in our topic sentence, and we'll talk about our framing piece. So we're answering the question: How do animals survive in the Arctic cold winters? And we said three ways that they did this. First off, they escape they're escape artists. We talked about the grizzly bear was one example of being an escape artist. Then we gave the example of the grizzly bear stores fat inside, and he's able to hibernate and wait out those cold temperatures, right? Escape them. And then number two, we talked about the walrus, and we talked about his very thick hide. So this is actually part of his body. This helps the walrus survive in the Arctic by keeping him warm as he swims in those really frigid temperatures. And finally, our third way is the Arctic hare. And we talked about how the Arctic hare grows longer and thicker for the winter to help it survive. Okay, so again, kind of a body, and I believe we use the word. So we're going to plan out the first reason together, and then you're going to be on your own for this. This is just pretty much review, so you should be pretty solid with writing this. Um, and I want to make it very clear that if your plan here, the grizzly bear, the walrus thick hide, and the Arctic hare is exactly like mine, it should not be. Okay, there are multiple animals for each one of these. Okay, so make sure that you're choosing a different animal, or you're just elaborating on different features, and it's not a word for word copy of mine. So let's go ahead and let's get into things. Start with our topic sentence here. So let's say something along the lines of, I'll actually give you a second to write your topic sentence. Now I'll write mine. Animals survive in the I can't type Arctic cold winters. So I'm just going to flip that question around. Animals survive in the Arctic cold winters. And now I'm going to explain a little bit about how they survive. I'm not going to give any actual evidence. Oh yes, I am wearing my Oh Happy Day, my Disney shirt. In case you were wondering, I'm not going to give actual any evidence, but I'm going to supply a little bit of background knowledge. So I'm going to actually talk about the ways to do that, and that's called framing. So let's talk about animals survive in the um, arc, Arctic's harsh. Oops, I thought I indented and I didn't. Environment. Uh, and through several different methods. Okay, so animals survive in the Arctic's harsh environment through several different methods. And now I can go ahead and actually just get right into it. Not a whole lot of framing is needed because, again, we're answering a very, very specific question here. How do the animals survive? And let's get into our first one. So why don't you write your first detail, and then I'll write my first detail. I'll give you a few minutes. Okay, so again, you need more time to pause the video. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the grizzly bear. So I'm going to start with for example, and after for example, because I'm listing off an animal here, I'm going to use a comma. So for example, pause, comma, um, the grizzly bear. And let's go over and let's take a look at my article because I was constantly going back and forth. I figured out why I wasn't clicking yesterday. So let's go back and paragraph 4, the grizzly bear. The bear spends all spring, summer, and eating and storing up fat. So I'm going to highlight this because I want you to be able to see exactly. Whoops. There we go. What I'm taking out of. And it goes into the special type of sleep. I want to highlight this next sentence. During the winter, it's able to live off its stored fat. So I'm going to highlight this as well. All right, so let's go and let's write and pull that right out. For example, the grizzly bear eats lots and lots of food. The bear is able to store up food and fat for the harsh winter. when the let's see here, during the winter sleep. So when the bear hibernates, it is able to survive because of all that stored fat from the spring. Okay, so let's take a look what I got. For example, the grizzly bear eats lots and lots of food. The bear is able to store up food and fat for the harsh winter. When the bear hibernates, you know what? Let's add a comma there. When the bear hibernates, comma, it is able to survive because of all that stored fat from the spring, summer, and fall. All right, so that's my first example of Judy Bear is talking in the other room. My first example of how I'm going to list things off, and then I'm going to go into the walrus. So I'm going to allow you to do examples 2 and 3 on your own. Now, um, something that I should also mention is make sure you're reading your work, right? Make sure you're editing. You see, I as I'm talking, I'm doing lots of talking and highlighting and lots of things, and it's really easy to make typing mistakes, but it's also really easy to do the same thing when you're handwriting your work. So make sure that you are going back and you're just checking and editing, and make sure you're adding the correct endings, IES, S, ED, whatever it may be, as you're doing the work. So the plan is for you guys to submit some of these, and I want to finally say one more time. I know I say it every video. Make sure you drag and drop that picture so it's really large. I'd love to take tomorrow and actually type one of these up, and then we actually go through it and edit and make work better. Okay. So if you could do that, I'd love to do that, but it's been really hard to read some of your writing. So make sure you're dragging and dropping it, making it as large as possible. Well, that's all we have for today. It is a beautiful day. Hoping it doesn't snow today in May. Um, so please take advantage of the warm weather. Go outside and sit outside, do your work, send some pictures. And Eastern, I will see you very soon on our Zoom call. Thanks, everyone. This has been great writing with Mr. Gilbert. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.